Hello, Thomas with eMIT here with an overview on how to change a sensor in the Annunciator. So as a side note, the EIM is a touchscreen display, but I have a cursor shown here so you can see where I'm clicking. Let's go to the Annunciator home screen. Now the easiest way to get to a sensor if you want to change it is if it has a gauge. Let's say I wanted to change the suction sensor. I can actually just click on the gauge. It'll show me the last minute and a few statistics about it, and I can just click set up this input. It'll bring me right to that input. However, if there's not a gauge, what you do is go to Annunciator Setup, Input Setup, and then choose what type of input. Let's say it's a digital input. And it'll show all the digital inputs. Some of them might be currently disabled. So let's say I was adding a new digital input on contact 8, so I'll click on that. It'll just ask me to give it a name, so I'll click on that. I can choose one of these names by default, Scrubber 1 level, and it'll just fill it in. If it's not there, I can hit click custom, and it'll bring up a full keyboard, and I can put in some sort of name. And then for digital input, you just put normally open or closed, and then the alarm action in class. The action is usually going to be shut down, but you might want it to be a warning, in which case the warning light will illuminate if the fault is active, or no action if you don't want to do anything right now with this input, or it's disconnected but you don't want to delete it. You can also use no action on other types of inputs if you want to show it as a gauge but don't have a shutdown for it. So I'll put a shutdown, and then a class, usually class A or B is used. A being always active, and B being active after the Class B timer expires. And ESD is same as Class A, except for that it is even active during test mode. And that is what you use, for instance, for an e-stop. So I'll have it be a Class B, hit submit, and that's it. So analog inputs will have a few more settings. It still has a name, a type, either a voltage or a current type, which is printed on the sensor. Most sensors are 4 to 20 milliamps. And the sensor itself will say the range. Perhaps at 4 milliamps it's 0, and at 20 milliamps it's 50. That's something that is sensor specific. And then units, give it some sort of units. And then you can give a low and high alarm value. If the alarm value is at a limit, it will not be used. So in this case, since I did 0 to 50, I could have no low alarm by putting a 0. And maybe I want a high alarm of 40. Give it an action and a class just the same as the other. Hit submit. And that's all. As a note, the operating range of the sensor is also what will be used for the gauge range. So suction is 0 to 100 psi sensor, so the gauge goes 0 to 100 psi. And if a low or high alarm is used, it will show the warning or shutdown bars on the gauge. So that's how to set up an Annunciator input. Thank you for watching.